We've got 3 spec books worth picking up, all under $50. Stay tuned.
Bry's Comics.
Before we jump into the spec books, we've got some giveaway announcements. This is your last chance to enter the giveaway for this set of Department of Truth books. We have Department of Truth number 1, 5th print, the Lee Harvey Oswald secret variant, and the cover A. All you have to do to enter this giveaway is subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, and leave a like on this video. This is the second video that I'm running this giveaway, so the previous video was another opportunity to get in on this. So if you haven't watched the previous video, go check that out and increase your chances of winning this set. And congratulations to Salvador F. You are the winner of the May newsletter giveaway from bryscomics.com. And you got this CGC 9.8 Doctor Strange and Sorcerer Supreme number 1. Awesome spec book right there. And June's giveaway is even better. June's giveaway for the newsletter over at bryscomics.com is Marvel Premiere 16 and a CGC 9.4 white pager. This is the second appearance and origin of Iron Fist continued. Plus, it's the first appearance of Fu His, first appearance of Shao Lao the Undying, first appearance of Lei King the Thunderer, and first full appearance and cover of Scythe. A ton of spec going on with this book, and all you have to do to enter to win is be signed up for the newsletter over at bryscomics.com. And each and every month that you stay subscribed, you're entered to win a free slab, and the slabs are just going to get better and better as the business grows. It's my way of saying thank you for all of the support, and I don't say it enough. I truly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for the continued support. This community is by far the most amazing community I've ever been a part of, and I feel like the Bry's Comics customers are of a different breed within that community. You guys are so amazing, so understanding, so awesome and easy to work with. I truly appreciate all of you, so thank you for all the support thus far, and I totally look forward to everything that the future holds for this business and for this community. It's just such an exciting time to be in comics, and I'm so thrilled to be on this ride with all of you. So once again, thank you for the support. Now, the last bit of news is I hired somebody to manage the blog over at bryscomics.com. Her name is Chelsea. She's a subscriber of the channel, and she's amazing. So hopefully you'll get the pleasure of working with her in the near future with the blog. You can expect all kinds of new content coming to the blog very soon. And basically the way it works is anyone can submit to the blog, and you'll be entered to win a monthly prize of either $100 cash or $150 store credit at bryscomics.com. And basically the way it works is the best performing blogs of that month win the prize. So stay tuned to the end of the video for all of the details. I'm going to hop into the computer and go over all the details about how to submit to Bry's Comics blog. All right, now let's hop into these specs. First up, we have Captain America Volume 5, number 16 from 2006. There's a whole bunch of Captain America 16, so make sure you get Volume 5 from 2006. This is the first appearance of the Red Skull's daughter, Synthea Schmidt, as Sin. The spec behind this is that Sin is rumored to be the villain in Captain America 4, which would be huge if that actually comes to fruition. And I like this one because it seems like supervillains kids is like a current theme with speculation and Marvel continuity in general. For less than $50, I'm definitely going to take a gamble on this one. The character has a lot of history in the comics and has appeared under different names, so she may have some staying power as well, just regardless of if she shows up in Captain America 4. And you probably aren't going to find very many graded copies of this because people just weren't getting this book graded, and even raw copies are kind of hard to come by at the moment. So my advice for this spec is this: be patient. As word gets out about this book being more valuable, we're going to see more copies come to market, and as the hype dies down, you're going to see a major lull in this book. At least I think so. So my advice would be to wait until more copies come to market and the hype dies down, and you might be able to catch the bottom of this book before it spikes back up when we get more news and more announcements. A couple points to mention is that this is a mostly black back cover and a mostly white front cover, which is an absolute nightmare for color rub. I see a ton of garbage copies on eBay, so just be really careful about what you choose to pick up. Also, Captain America Volume 5, number 28 from the same series is Sin's first cover appearance. And both of these books have some really awesome artwork, which is just a little added bonus to it. And the first cover appearance of Sin is a much more affordable book, but same thing with this. There's not a whole lot of copies at market right now, so I would be patient. Wait for the lull when the hype dies about this book, when we're not hearing about it on YouTube videos and speculation apps and things like that, and then we'll see the price start to come down. The next spec, we have Darth Vader number 1. This book has a lot going for it as well. It's the first appearance of Black Chrysanthemum, a Wookiee bounty hunter. It's the first cameo appearance of Dr. Silo. It's the first ongoing Darth Vader solo series. And there's a rumor that the Wookiee race is going to appear in Mandalorian Season 3. And if that does happen, Black Chrysanthemum could make it into the live action series on Disney Plus, which would skyrocket this book. Black Chrysanthemum is also a likely candidate for the upcoming War of the Bounty Hunter series. A couple things to mention about this book. It's also a thicker book, which is not uncommon for issue number 1s in Marvel. It's a mostly black front cover and a mostly black back cover, so it's going to be more difficult to get in a high grade. The spine ticks and the color rub are going to show more prominently. Also, there's a second, third, fourth, and fifth print of this book, all of which have low print runs. So be on the lookout for those. It's the same cover, just different color schemes for the subsequent prints. There's also a 1 in 50, which is an absolutely epic Alex Ross cover, and then a 1 in 200 sketch version of that Alex Ross book, which is an absolute ghost. It's really hard to find and really expensive if you do find it. So as the Boba Fett series and the Mandalorian Season 3 get closer and closer, I'm going to be on the lookout for more Star Wars specs associated with it, because as we saw with Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, that show just absolutely skyrocketed the whole Star Wars franchise, and there was a ton of spec opportunities around the show. So as those get closer, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for more good potential specs. This next book you've seen before, certainly if you follow my channel, but the reason I'm bringing it back up again is because we're seeing a huge uptick in recent sales, and we're talking about Spawn number 9, the first appearance of Angela, first appearance of Medieval Spawn, first appearance of Cagliostro. And so Spawn is an Image title, but the character of Angela is currently living in the Marvel continuity, which is very odd, something you don't see all the time. And Angela has been rumored to show up in the MCU forever. I mean, it's been rumored for a long time that she would show up in the MCU. And without getting into too many details about how an Image character ends up at Marvel, because honestly, the details are scarce, and I'm not too sure that you can even rely upon the data that's out there on the internet. I think the only people that really know the truth about how that all transpired is Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman, and even they probably disagree on the details. But essentially, there was a legal battle between the two creators, Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane, about who actually owns the character of Angela. And all we need to know as speculators is that Neil Gaiman eventually took Angela with him to Marvel, where she now lives, and she is introduced as Thor's half-sister. She also has really close ties to the Guardians of the Galaxy in Marvel continuity, and speculation about Angela coming to the MCU really started to peak when there was an announcement that Thor Love and Thunder was looking to cast a strong female supporting actress role in her 20s to 30s, being referred to by the codename Artemisia. Thor Love and Thunder is expected to be released in February of 2022. Just right around the corner, really, when you think about it. So if she is indeed going to show up in Thor Love and Thunder, we'll probably get the announcement for that sometime in 2021. And even if she doesn't show up in that movie, with such close ties to the Guardians of the Galaxy, there is a good chance that she'll show up in Volume 3 of that as well. And that movie doesn't come out until May of 2023. And so recent sales of Spawn number 9 have been pretty surprising, actually. All recent sales are up over $200, with several hitting over $300, and a couple for $275 and $285. A newsstand CGC 9.8 sold for $2,500 a few days ago, and it wasn't just an anomaly. There's been several newsstand 9.8 sales of over $2,000. When that first happened, people were like, it's got to be market manipulation. It's got to be a fluke, but it's not. There's just not that many newsstands. They're incredibly rare, and they're going for over $2,000. That might be what is driving the sales of the other prices as well, of the direct editions. But right now, the lowest listed price is $239, and so that's what I'm going to have them listed for over on my website is $239. But use code WeWantAngela, all caps, for 10% off. And for those of you that follow my channel, you know that I bought 100 copies of Spawn number 9 from Very Gary. I'll put a link to that video up here and down in the description. If you haven't seen it, I think it's definitely worth watching. There were some major learning lessons that I had on that, and just a really interesting story about how that whole transaction transpired. But I sent them in to be pressed and cleaned, and 73 copies came back 9.8. And the reason that I'm parting with them now, which is probably a very bad time to part with them as we're right around the corner from announcement, is because I've been thinking a lot about protecting the value of this book. If we do get Angela in the MCU, I don't want to be in a position where I need to move all 73 copies at once and flood the market. And so I'm going to start selling the copies slowly at FMV or at really good prices. And I've never had this many copies of a single book in a CGC 9.8 before, and I want to be really mindful about the impact that it has on the value of the book and on the market. Certainly, the irresponsible thing to do would be for me to list them on eBay, no reserve auction, just one after the other, and just flood the market with these no reserve auctions. It would just kill the value of this book. I see people do that all the time where they have tons of copies of the same book and they just throw them all up in the eBay no reserve auctions, and really you shoot yourself in the foot because you get less money as a seller, and you're killing the value of the book. It's terrible for the community. So please, if you're flooding the market on eBay with no reserve auctions, just please stop doing that. It's not doing anyone any good, and the biggest thing is it's affecting your bottom line. At one point, I remember seeing a guy throw up just dozens of copies of Ultimate Fallout 4 CGC 9.8s, no reserve auctions on eBay, and I was picking them up actually, and I got a whole bunch of second prints for like around $150, $200 because the market was saturated. And that guy, I mean, imagine how he should feel right now. That book going for over $1,000, I think it is right now, and he was just selling them left and right for $150. It just doesn't do anyone any good, but it hurts you the most as a seller. All right, so that's it for the 3 specs. Now let's hop into the computer and I'll go over all the details of how to submit to Bryce Comics blog. All right, so here we are at brycecomics.com, and if you click on this link here that says blog, you will see all of our current blog posts. Right now there's not a whole lot because we're just getting this thing kicked off, but if you hover over the word blog and click submit a blog post, it'll show you all of the rules for submissions. And so basically each month my blog manager Chelsea and I will look at the engagement of each blog post, and the blog with the most engagement will win either $150 store credit or $100 cash. And my blogs don't count in the competition, obviously. And so for the steps to submit a blog post is, number 1, review the new author submission guidelines listed below. So here we are, new author submission guidelines, just some legal jargon. Any writing submitted must be written by you and cannot be posted on another website. I'll get dinged for duplicate content by Google if that's the case. And if you submit an image with your blog post, you're stating that you have the right to share that image. Basically, don't just do a Google search and copy and paste stuff. There are people that's entire jobs are scouring the internet to see if their images have been stolen. So you have to make sure that you have the right to use that image if you're going to use it for the thumbnail of your blog. Some images are free to use under the fair use law, which states that you can use copyrighted images in certain circumstances. Basically, comic book covers fall under this because you're using that copyrighted work to promote that copyrighted work, and that's okay. And the last thing is submitting a blog post does not guarantee you any compensation, but you are entered to win if your post gets accepted and posted on the site. So for step 2, it says submit your blog article to Chelsea at brycecomicsblog@gmail.com and include any related images and a thumbnail for your blog. So it's good to have images in the blog, and it's good to have a catchy thumbnail. There's lots of free apps that you can use to create thumbnails. Canva is one that's really easy to use, and they have a free version. So remember, thumbnail and title are the two most important things to generate clicks aside from awesome content. A lot of people miss this step, especially YouTubers and stuff. They'll have really incredible content, and then they just kind of rush through the thumbnail and the title part, and you lose a ton of your search engine optimization if you don't have those things dialed in. So just as important as it is to have awesome content, it's really important to have a good title and a good thumbnail. After you submit your blog, you'll receive a response from Chelsea within a week, give you an estimate of when you can expect your blog to go live on the site. And so here's how you win the $150 store credit or $100 cash. At the end of each month, we look at the blog posts, look at each blog post page views, number of comments, and number of votes. Voting will take place on my Instagram stories on the second Thursday of the month. And so 1 point is awarded to the blog with the highest amount in each of the 3 categories. The blog with the most total points wins that month's prize. And your blog may perform better over time. So even if you don't win the month in which you submitted, you could win down the line. Sometimes it takes a while for Google to categorize your post and start serving it to the search rankings. So we look at the performance of each blog for the current calendar month, regardless of when it was posted. So you can submit something in May, and then it may not start to generate a lot of clicks until September. And that's okay, because in September, we'll look at the blogs that had the most clicks. And if it was one that you submitted in May, that's fine. You could win that month. And so you get 1 point for the most number of page views for the blog, 1 point for the most number of comments, and 1 point for the most number of votes over on Instagram. And whoever has the most at the end of that wins that month. And so a single blog can only win once, but a single blogger can win multiple times. So in other words, if there's just one blog that just kills it month after month, you can only win that one time with that blog, but that blogger can win multiple times. And that's it, guys. I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm excited to see what kind of content you guys come up with. And thank you in advance for being willing and interested in submitting. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. There's tons of potential for this and different avenues that this blog writing and content and everything can take. So it's exciting to see where it all goes. Thank you so much for tuning into this video and sticking with me all the way to the end, you guys. And we will catch you in the next video. Bye.
Bryce Comics.